Uh, so yesterday we have seen with LED like how I need to work with LED etc. We'll try connecting LED to Arduino too. Again the same thing like when I open Tinkercad, you are going to have your screen like this, and I need to click on circuits. Okay, I'm clicking on circuits. I want to go with new circuit. So click on create new circuit. Like I want to set up Arduino. Okay, I am going to Arduino. I just need to drag this particular breadboard. Okay, here I have an option which will fit this particular circuit to fit to whatever the screen we have. I'm just clicking so that it adjusts automatically. So I can do two things like bring a particular Arduino board like this and bring a breadboard like this and connect from this 5 volts to this particular horizontal line, and again short from this horizontal line to this horizontal line, and connect ground from here to this particular horizontal line and short from here to here. Like that we can do. The other option is if we don't want to take that much strain directly, we can make use of this custom available circuit. Both are one and the same. There is no difference between these two things. And whenever we are working with LED also, I can directly connect LED to Arduino without using breadboard, or we can also use breadboard and try to connect like that. Okay, anything I can do for that, that also. Let me search for resistor and LED. I hope everyone are clear with the terminology of breadboard. Like if I consider this highlighted portion, all the five lines vertically they are interconnected. Okay, we have short circuit internally, and these vertical lines they are also short circuited internally. Okay, so when I connect resistor from here to here, that means I have a connection from this particular line to this particular line for this resistor. Next, I'll try dragging LED. And remember one more thing: when we connect this particular resistor, don't keep this particular resistor. Someone is trying to take control of my system, maybe by mistake. Okay, take this resistor, and you can see if I connect like this, that means you are making short circuit for resistor. Okay, always be clear. You should not connect like this. Maybe you can connect this one like this. Okay, or you can just drag this and connect like this. Any of these two things will be fine. Okay. Now I need to drag LED. LED cathode basically we connected to resistor, and that resistor we have grounded in earlier case. The same thing I will also do now. And this positive whatever we have, we connected that one to uh, any like earlier we have connected to power supply, but now I want to connect like I want to control the output of LED, okay, using Arduino. So I'll try giving that one to any one of the digital pin. Okay, and when I say digital pin, make be clear, I am not going to consider any PWM digital pin. That is the pin which has a similar symbol or tilde, we call it as that symbol. other than that, whatever we have, that we are using here. Let me try using 13th pin. First we'll try using the default pin, which is we also call it as built-in LED pin of Arduino. Okay, so when I point over here, when I point on this Arduino board, are you able to see my pointer? You can just respond. When I point pointer on this particular Arduino, are you able to see the movement of pointer? Okay. Okay, then whatever we have written here, L, that is built-in LED which we have here. Okay, this built-in LED can be directly programmed by using built-in LED, high, built-in LED, low, some command like that. Or we can also make this 13th pin high or low, which will enable this built-in LED high or low. That's what we are doing here. We'll try working with that only. I am connecting uh, this external LED to this particular 13 pin. So in that case, I should be able to see this LED glowing and also this LED glowing at the same time. Both will be working. Whatever built-in LED I have, that will be working, and whatever external LED I have connected, that will also work. Okay. Uh, we need to write code for that one. Just drag this particular circuit here. Okay, if I directly start simulating, you won't observe anything because I have not written any code for that as of now. Okay, maybe if it is taking some default code, then it will work. We'll see. So I have some default code over here. Set built-in LED to high. Wait 1 second. Set built-in LED to low. That's what the default program I have. Basically, you are not aware of this particular thing, right? I'll repeat the steps. To delete this particular existing one, I just need to drag, and I have a dustbin over here. Okay, or recycle bin. In that one, I can drop that particular code. Okay, that's what I am doing. Let me try dragging each and everything. Before that, I'll just explain you what are the things we have. For example, if I consider block, I hope it's clear how I got this one. By clicking this particular code tab, I am getting this particular thing, and we are trying to write code by using blocks available here. Whatever the code, or whatever the code we are using in day-to-day life, all those things can be done by using whatever the available things we have over here. So let me try first for introducing you to input blocks. Here I have several digital pins. So I may have some sensor which is digital in manner, and I may have some sensors which are analog in manner. So when I say analog or digital, you just need to take an analogy. Like analog you can consider like real numbers, digital you can consider like integers. Okay, but again when I say digital, when I say integers, you don't consider all the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. You just consider digital, you are going to have only 0, 1. Okay, no other value in between. That means for digital I am going to have just integers. When I consider analog values, I can have anything. For example, even if I consider 0 to 1 also, I may have 0 0.1, 0 0.001, 0 0.002, like that infinite number of values I can have. Okay, that's how you can differentiate between analog and digital. Basically, analog means you're going to have continuous values, like in the case of real numbers. Digital, you are going to have just integers, maybe 0 or 5, or 0 or 3, or 0 or 1. It all depends on what are the two values you are considering for that digital number. Okay, so if I have any particular sensor which is providing me digital output, and if I have to read that particular sensor value, I need to use this read digital pin. But if I have any analog value, in that case I need to consider read analog pin. Okay, so let me try these two things. Okay, when I consider the first one, read digital pin, you can see all the digital pins numbers are available here, 0 to 30. Okay, so all the numbers whatever we have, 0 1 2 3 and so on till 13, all those numbers are available here. Okay, let me take read unlock pin and see what are there. Read unlock pin, there also I have A0 to A5. Those are the 6 analog input pins we have for this particular board. Okay, okay. Anyway, I don't need these two things because we are not doing the task of reading from any sensors as of now. Okay. Next, I have here is read degrees of servo pin on a particular pin where you have connected that particular servo pin. I think it just got start. Let's wait for. Then I have number of serial characters available. If I am using a TX or RX pin, maybe I need to see how many number of serial characters available. Read from serial, read ultrasonic distance on trigger, read temperature sensor on a particular pin. So it's like even if I connect any sensor also, automatically I have the description for that one over here. That's what we have in input block. We'll go to output and see what are the things available. So in output you can see set built-in LED. Okay, so set built-in LED high. That's what we need in this particular thing, right? So let me drag this. I'll just reload. We have some issue with this. So set built-in LED high or low. I can make that built-in LED 13th pin 1 maybe high or maybe low. Okay, then I have set pin 0 1 2 and so on numbers I will have. We'll just see that. Just drag this. Okay, in output that means from Arduino board we want to give some output to external world or external circuit. So in that case what we will be doing. For example, this particular LED I want to make high or I want to make low. So I can drag this one, set built-in LED. I can make it high or low. Okay. So let's give only this instruction and start simulating and see what happens. I'm just clicking start simulating. So you can see like this particular LED is glowing, but I don't know whether you are able to clearly identify or not. So let me try dragging a multimeter to check what is the voltage I am getting at pin 13. Okay, that's how I can actually check if I am getting any voltage at that particular pin or not. So positive, I am connecting to this particular LED positive, and negative I'll connect to ground. Okay, now I'll try simulating. So you can see here I am getting 4.58 volts. Okay, So I'm getting 4.58 volts. Just wait. I just made these connections. Viewers. I need to connect that particular negative across LED. When I connect across ground, we are going to get different value. Across LED, I'll connect. Okay. Then we can see how much voltage we are getting across LED. Okay, you can see like we are getting just 1.88 volts. The reason is whatever the resistance we are using here, that has very high value. The resistance voltage is 1 kilo ohm. Okay, now I want to see what resistance I need to consider here. For that, what I need to do is I need to check the voltage between 13th pin and ground. So 13th pin and ground, I'll again change this particular thing to ground to see what is the voltage we are getting at 13th pin. Now you can see like this particular I have connected to ground, and then this particular thing is connected to 13th pin. Okay, let me start simulating again. See, we have approximately around 4.58 volts which is being generated at 13th pin. So 4.58 minus we require 2 volts for LED. 2 if I keep you will get 2.58 volts. 2.58 volts by 20 milliamps, that's what we need to consider. Okay, so approximately it's like I need to consider a resistance of around 100 ohms. 100 ohms I need to consider. Let me check. Okay, you can see here I don't have any information saying like high current is going or low current is going, etc. So this LED is glowing. Okay, next what we do is we will make this LED on and off. Now it's being on, but we will consider some particular wait time, after which we will make that particular LED off and again on, off. Like that we will try repeating that particular thing. So just see here other options what we have in output block. Set pin 0 to high. I'll drag and show you what are the things we have here. You can see here all digital pins available over here. Okay. Then if I consider this thing, this is also digital pin, but the difference between second one and the third one is, in second one you are going to have all the digital pins, but when I consider the third one you are going to have PWM pins. Okay, in this second block I am going to have only digital pins. When I consider third one, only PWM pins you are going to have. That's the difference between this one and this one. Okay, anyway I don't need these things. I'll remove these two things. Next I have another instruction which says like rotate servo motor on a particular pin to some degrees. Okay, so if I have connected a servo motor on one particular pin, I can make that one rotate with some degree. Similarly, if I have a speaker with so and so tone, I can make it on. Turn off speaker into serial monitor. Okay, set RGB LED pins, like the different options I have in this particular output block. Then next one, notation. Notation is like some comment. I want to make some comment. Like I'll drag this, you can see. So basically while we write code in any programming language, we do write comments, right? So if I want to write some comment also, I can write here. LED blinking program. LED blinking. LED blinking program. Okay, like that I'll write some comment. Like that you can write any comment by using this notice. Then I have control. In control, basically we were talking about like I want to make this particular LED on for some time, off for some time, like that, right? So I need wait. So I am dragging that particular wait module. Okay, I can just drag, automatically it connects. So you can see here I have wait time in milliseconds or seconds. You can consider anything. Similarly, if I have some particular a part of the program which I want to repeat for some duration, I'll do like I'll drag this one. Okay, I can write my code inside this one. Only 10 times it's going to work, or I can change this particular thing how many times I want it to repeat. Okay, like that also I can make repeat while. If I want to write some condition, you can do here if condition. If I want to write if condition, then I have block for that one. If else condition, if I have to write, then I have this. Okay, sometimes we may need to increase the value of a particular thing. Okay, in steps. So I'll consider this. For example, in for loop, what you are doing, maybe you'll write like for I equals to 0, I less than this, I plus plus, or I plus 5, I plus 6. Okay, so like that we will increment the counter, and also we will have a condition like from where to where I want to increment that particular thing. Okay, so like that also if you want to write, you can use that. That's about control. In math, again we have many things. Maybe I'll be interested in comparing, doing some operations here. Okay, or I may be interested in comparing. So I'll use this greater than, less than. Okay. Then if I want to select some random number, someone says some problem. Okay. Let me turn up my video. Maybe there may be some network issue. Is it clear now? Are you able to see till wait block? Okay. Are you able to see now when I'm moving mouse? Now I am just doing this thing. Okay. Okay. See, this particular block basically we will use to do comparison. If we have to do some not, for example, sometimes while writing while program, we will write like uh, while of not a, while of not a particular variable, something like that we will write, right? So during that time we will write this one. Similarly, we have other things like when I have some analog sensor value. Okay, analog sensor value, if I am reading, then if I have to uh, map that particular thing to digital. Okay, if I have some analog sensor value, if I have to make that one map from 0 to something 1023, something like that, then also I can use this
അല്ല അപ്പൊ
map.
ഞാനെങ്കിൽ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യാം. ഞാനിപ്പോ പി പിക്ക് ഒരു ഫസ്റ്റ് ലെവൽ
Then
ഞാൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഒരു ലിങ്ക് ഇടാം വാട്സാപ്പിൽ.
Rekha ma'am, Rekha ma'am. Okay. So if I want to map some value, analog value, then I can use this map thing. So I can just drag like this one, map that particular variable from 0 to 1023. Okay, basically when we do ADC, we are going to have values in the range of 0 to 1023. If I am considering digital, ADC has 10-bit resolution. If I consider like 8-bit ADC, in that case we will have 0 to 255. So I can map accordingly. Or maybe if I have values from 0 to 1023 and I want to map them to 0 to 255, some kind of relationship, that's what we are showing here, that can be done directly. Okay, like that some things we have. If I want to come up with new variable, okay, you can click here, create variable. uh, Let me say LED. Okay, I'll get that particular variable and I can drag that particular LED. Okay, so like that also I can create variables. About these things, it will be clear when we again use these things in our code. But as of now, we will continue with this LED blinking program. So I made this particular LED high, built-in LED. I am waiting for 1 second. Again, I want to make that particular LED low. Okay, I'm making low. Then control, I want to wait 1 more second. Okay, I'm waiting for 1 second. Now let me try simulating and see what happens. See, it's on. You can see my seconds simulation time here. 2, it's on. 3, it's off. 4 on, 5 off. Okay, like that my LED is becoming on and off. Okay, so far is it clear? You can just respond in chat if it is clear. So far whatever we discussed, if it is clear for you, you can just respond with yes in chat box. Okay, now let me try showing you code. Okay, I made this complete code by dragging this particular blocks. And if I want to work with Arduino hardware, I need code, I need to write code. Okay, but if you are using this particular Tinkercad, you don't have to write code also, because this can generate code also for you. Okay, let me see how I can do. As you can see here, we have something called as blocks. Okay, if I can change this one from blocks to blocks plus text, then see here, this is what we will be writing, right? Generally when I consider any Arduino, if you have some experience of working with Arduino, you might have uh, understood what we have written here. Okay, we created some variables earlier, so we are getting int I equals to 0. Let me remove that, delete the variable, delete LED. Okay, I made some comment here, LED blinking program, so that is coming automatically here. I didn't write this particular code, automatically it got generated. Next, void setup. Void setup, in that particular one you are going to say what are the pins which you are initializing as output pin or input pin, or if you want to initialize some local variables like I equals to 0, LED equals to 0, or any other thing that you can do here. In void loop you are going to write your code which you want to repeat forever. Okay, so you can see here, the advantage of this particular thing is I have written digital write 13 high because built-in automatically refers to 13th pin. delay of 1 second I wrote, but in general Arduino IDE it considers that as delay of 1000 milliseconds, because whatever I write inside delay, it is in the form of milliseconds. So again it is also giving you the corresponding comment. Let me try deleting this particular last block and see what happens. Okay, when I am moving further also, the distance between that is trying to increase. Let me remove this. Okay, automatically that particular thing has gone. So working with Tinkercad is this much simple. Okay, I'll just repeat the same thing, like duplicate, and I'll place here. I don't want the last one, I can remove that. Okay, so that's how we'll be getting the code. Next thing, like how I can dump this particular thing in Arduino. Simple, like the simple procedure what you can do is select all these things, uh, copy. Okay, copy, and you will have Arduino IDE, right? Okay, Arduino IDE, in that one you go and paste this particular code and you can dump to your Arduino board. That simple. This particular Tinkercad provides you. Okay, whatever the code you want, you can generate directly like this. Okay, so is there any difficulty in this doing this? I hope there won't be any difficulty, right? Okay, so to be frank, school children like 8th class, 7th class, 6th class, those children are working with Arduino and they are trying to generate different applications. Okay, so when we consider normal 8051 or 8086 or any big microcontrollers, and if you are programming them using some Keel software or maybe any assembly language uh, like TASM, MASM, etc., you need to write many lines of code. But as you move towards Arduino, that complexity is reduced and you are able to do all those things with just 2 or 3 lines. Like as we have seen just some time back, we can see here, to make an LED glow, only this many number of lines we are writing. But anyway, second year, third year, and MTech students are available, right? All you have basically done experiments with making LED glow, okay, on and off, something like that. So remember how many lines of code you have written over there, how many lines of code you are writing here. That's the simplicity which we are getting when we are working with advanced boards like Arduino or Raspberry Pi or any other microcontroller boards. Okay, and with Tinkercad your task is again reduced. Earlier we thought like writing this code, okay, was simple compared to your existing methods of writing in MASM or TASM or Keel, but compared to writing this particular code, dragging and dropping here and generating code is very simple. Okay, so that's why we wanted you to learn this particular thing. Okay, okay, this is all about how you can make an LED blink. Okay, uh, I have another LED program. I won't simulate that, but I'll try to show you working of that one because I want to reduce the time. Uh, okay, I have LEDs RGB toggling. Let me take this. Okay, as I explained earlier, if I want to work with this one, I need to click on Tinker this. Okay, I'm clicking that. Okay, first we will see connection, then we will go to program. Here also simple. Like earlier, I have worked with 13th pin. Instead of working with only one digital pin, I have selected 3 pins. One is D7, D4 and the other one is D2. These are the 3 pins I am selecting, and for these 3 pins I have connected 3 LEDs. Okay. So as you can see here, the cathode of each LED is connected to ground, and the anode through a resistor is connected to these digital pins. Okay. And we can also see how much voltage, how much resistance we are using. Like earlier, whatever we have used 100 ohm, the same way here also we are using 100 ohms. Okay, I have connected a multimeter to check any one of the LED output. So I am checking for second pin here. Okay, let me try simulating. After that, we'll go to code. Okay, I hope you are able to see. We are making each and every LED one by one, on and off. First red one, green one, then blue one. Red, green, blue. RGB colors we are making on and off with some delay. That's what we are doing. Let me go to code what I have written. Okay, see here, set pin 7. That means this particular pin which is connected to red LED we are making high. That's the first step we are doing. We are waiting for 100 milliseconds. Then we are making the same red pin low, red LED. Then waiting 100 milliseconds. Then fourth pin we are making high. Fourth means I have connected fourth pin to green color LED. Then I am waiting 100 seconds. Then fourth pin we are making low. That means green one will be low. Then I am making second pin high. Second pin is blue color one. Okay. And again I am making that particular thing low after 100 milliseconds. This particular thing will be repeated forever. Okay. You can just respond in chat like where I can use this particular thing. Maybe with small modifications where I can use this. Traffic signal. Okay, that's correct. So I can consider another set of uh, 3 or more LED sets. Okay, and I can write my own code, and I can simulate here first to see whether it is working according to my plan or not. Like there is a junction and you need to allow the traffic so that no vehicle will collide with the opposite coming vehicle. Okay, so like that you will think and you will come up with your own circuit. Okay, I can design that particular thing over here, and I can verify whether that particular circuit is working according to my requirement or not. Okay, now we will also see what is the code we have for that. This is the code with respect to blocks. We'll try to see text wise what is the code I have. See here we are considering 3 pins. Earlier I have considered built-in pin mode 13 output like that I specified. Here we are considering 3 LEDs. So I am considering 3 pins, pin mode 7 output, pin mode 4 output, pin mode 2 output. All the 3 pins we have connected to red, green, blue LEDs, and they are acting as output, so we are making them out. Inside loop you can see digital write, 7th one high, delay of 100 milliseconds, 7th one low, delay of 100 milliseconds, 4th pin high, delay of 100 milliseconds. Like that we are repeating the same. Okay, so you may have any number of LEDs. Okay, you can just repeat that particular thing. For example, I need one more thing. I can just come up with one more pin mode, maybe fifth one output, something like that I can come up. Okay, so that's about this LEDs RGB toggling. We'll go back to PPT to see what are the next things we have. Okay, this particular thing is over. Next thing we will consider is potentiometer, because in most of the cases we may be interested in working with potentiometer, or some kind of same logic we may be interested in working with. Okay, that's the reason I want to consider potentiometer. You can see here, potentiometer, basically I'll just draw how it looks like, or it's like it's going to have three pins. I hope all the members at some point of time in your lab sessions you might have worked with potentiometer. Potentiometers will be available like part of 1K, part of 10K, part of 1 mega. Okay, like that you are going to have. When I say part of 1K, the complete potentiometer can range from 0 to 1 kilo ohm. When I say part of 10K, the complete range of resistances will vary from 0 to 10 kilo ohms. Similarly for 1 mega also. So like that I can consider a potentiometer. So when I consider potentiometer, we are going to have three terminals, 1, 2 and 3. When I consider these three terminals, first one and third one I need to connect to positive and ground. Okay. And third one we will connect to any other external circuit. Okay. The reason why I need to go with potentiometer is, for example, I need some resistance value, something like 723. Okay, can I get that resistance? Will there be any particular resistance like 723 available? You won't have that kind of resistance. Okay. So for example, I require something like 490. Okay, you won't have that particular thing. Okay, why I need specifically those resistances is, when we go with amplifiers or etc., we need to match our circuit load with the load of your whatever the device you are connecting. Basically, if you remember your network theory, you might have studied like whenever series resistance Rs equals to Rl, then we can have maximum power transfer. In such cases, I cannot expect my load to have equal resistances like 1 kilo ohm, 2 kilo ohm, 100 ohms, 470 ohm. Like that exact values I cannot expect for my load to have. In such cases, I need to come up with this potentiometer. So potentiometers, by varying a knob, I can actually have whatever the resistance we require. Okay. So it's like the resistance available between 1 and 2 is considered as R1. The resistance available between 2 and 3 is considered as R2. Okay. So if I consider this complete part as a range 1 kilo ohm, in that case, if I consider the resistance between 1 and 2, that is R1 is 100, in that case R2 will be 900. If I consider 1 and 2, the resistance is 300, then 2 and 3 you are going to have 700. That means, what I mean to say is, when I combine these two things, R1 and R2, you are going to have 1K or 1 mega or 10K, whatever the corresponding potentiometer you are choosing. Okay. So that's how you are going to have this potentiometer. Like I said, you are going to connect plus here, minus here. Okay. And I'll connect the middle one to external circuit. So for example, let me consider another application. I have a 9 volts battery. Okay, I have a 9 volts battery, but my external circuit requires me to deliver 8 volts. Okay, my external circuit requires me to deliver 8 volts. If I consider, uh, basically you need to consider this V output as 8. Okay, I need to consider appropriate values of R1 and R2. Instead, let me consider some number like 12, so that our calculations will be easy. Okay, I'm considering input supply of 12 volts. Okay, and I require output voltage as 8 volts. How I can uh, calculate output voltage over here is V out equals to whatever the supply we are giving, VCC multiplied with R2 divided by R2 plus R1. For example, if I consider like R1 is having maybe like if I want 8, what I need to have is R1 is 1, R2 is 2, okay, 1 kilo ohm, 2 kilo ohm I am considering. In such case it will be like 12 into 2 kilo ohms by 2 kilo ohms plus 1 kilo ohm. Okay, by that we are going to get 12 by 3 4 into 2 8 ohms. Okay, so if anyone has doubt regarding this calculation, you can just ask me to repeat. But by using this formula I am considering R1 equals to 1 kilo ohm, R2 equals to 2 kilo ohm, and I am substituting in this particular formula, and I will get output value, V output value 8 volts. Okay, so that's how whatever the value of voltage I require, I can generate by using this potentiometer circuits. Okay, so have you ever seen this kind of circuit in any other cases? You can just respond. We call this particular circuit with some terminology. What is that particular circuit name? Especially in transistor amplification things, you are going to have for stability we will use these kind of circuits, but it has some name. Divider, specifically we call them as voltage divider circuit, because voltage is being divided across R1 and R2, so we call them as voltage divider circuits. Okay, so these are very important, like voltage divider circuits. When we consider the application of LDR also, we will come to know what is the advantage of this one. Okay, as of now potentiometer we are going to connect like this. Okay, let me see how we will connect to Arduino. So this was the Arduino setup which we considered earlier. So as you can see, this is one potentiometer. One end we are connecting to this positive one, the other end we are connecting to negative one or ground. The middle one we are taking and we are connecting to A0. By changing this particular knob, I should be able to identify if there is any change in the voltage which we are taking at A0. Okay. First what we will do is we'll try connecting a potentiometer to Arduino. We will vary the knob and we will try to observe the changes in serial monitor. After that we will try connecting an LED and change the voltage across LED, that is making LED on and off with respect to potentiometer values. That's what we will do now. Okay. Okay, I'm going back to Tinkercad again. Let me come up with a new circuit, or I'll just undo this thing. I won't remove LED because later I'll be using that one. Okay, so as of now I'll just connect like that, but I won't utilize in my code that particular LED. Okay. Okay, let me go for potentiometer. As you can see, this is potentiometer, whatever I have. I'll just drag that. Okay, this one we need to connect with the positive. I'll do one thing, I'll also drag till this particular point. If this one positive. Again, one more thing is, whenever we connect these circuits, we expect like this particular circuitry or design to look good. Okay, this Tinkercad is also showing you, like when I'm dragging like this, you are getting one horizontal line showing like you are following a straight line. But if I am deviating, you can see that straight line is not coming. That means you are not in straight line. Okay, that also I can identify while designing. Okay, exactly in the straight line I can go. Okay, horizontally also I can go and connect like this. I can change the color of this because that is a VCC or positive supply. I'll make it as a red. Okay, then this one I need to connect it to ground. Connect it to ground. For example, if you have not placed correctly, you can also drag this. Okay, I have dragged. Then this particular thing wiper, that has to be connected with any one of the analog input pin. Okay, I hope it's clear for you like why I am considering analog not digital, because whatever the voltage I am getting at that particular point, it may have any real valued number within 0 to 5. That's the reason I am considering that as analog value but not digital value. Okay, so this is the connection I am making, and I want to see the appropriate values. Let me delete all these things. For simplicity, I want to have just blocks over here rather than blocks plus text. Okay, first thing what we are doing here is we are trying to read the value available at pin A0. So that is an input. So I'll go to input. You can see here read analog pin A0. Okay, just drag that, read analog pin A0, that will read. Okay, okay, even if I look at code also, you can see here I have made A0 pin as input pin. I am reading the analog pin for every 10 milliseconds. Okay, but the thing is, if I just read that particular value, it's of no use, but I need to understand what is the value we are getting. Okay, or I need to be able to see that particular value. Okay, so for that I can take the help of serial monitor. So I'll go to output. We have print to serial monitor option over here. I'll drag that. Okay, so what it says, print to serial monitor hello world with new line, or without new line also you can consider, but I want with new line. Okay, but I don't want hello world to be printed, but I want this analog value to be printed. Whatever the value I have at A0, that has to be printed. So for that also, again what you need to do is just click on this particular read analog pin A0 and slightly drag that and drop it this hello world. Okay, let me do it again. Just take this. As soon as you go there, you can see some kind of change we are getting. Okay, I'll repeat this. So when I take this one and go near this, it's trying to highlight. The hello world part is getting highlighted. Okay, whenever it gets highlighted, I am leaving. Now instead of printing hello world, it's trying to print analog pin value, whatever we have, A0 value. Okay, let me try starting simulation and observe what voltages we are getting. See here we are getting 1023. That means let me go back to this particular thing. Okay, this is what we consider, right? Okay, I connected in the same manner. The output I am getting is 1023. Okay, but what is the input we are giving? We are giving input as 0 to 5 volts. but output we are getting in the form of 1023. Let me try changing this. Now I'm changing and it's decreasing. Okay, and when I come to this particular end, then it's becoming 0. Okay, I'll make this black. Okay, now I want you to respond. I have given the values 0 to 5 as input for my potentiometer, but it is giving me values from 0 to 1023. Okay, I want you to respond why I am getting like that. Okay, anyone? Why we are getting 0 to 1023 instead of 0 to 5? Someone says, I think it take only in between, sir. It won't take exactly 5. My question is actually, we have values from 0 to 5, but we are able to see here the values in the range of 0 to 1023. Someone says 2 power 10, 1024, but uh, can you expand that, your answer? Okay, 0 to 2 power 10 minus 1, but why I am getting that? I am not giving that one, right? I am giving only in the range of 0 to 5. Okay, let me try the other way. Uh, from potentiometer, whether we are getting the output in analog form or digital form. What is the output of potentiometer? Analog. Okay. So someone says it's showing in resolution, something like that. Okay. Analog we are getting. But basically, if I consider microcontroller or any board, it doesn't understand analog, right? Then how you are able to give analog value? Microcontroller cannot take analog values. So how it is able to understand that whatever you are giving? Yes, we connected pin 2 to analog, but your microcontroller cannot read analog values. It can read only digital values. Okay, someone responded analog to digital converter. Okay, that's the same thing. Like before giving it to microcontroller, for all these analog pins, by default we have A to D converters, analog to digital converters. Okay, so in analog to digital converter, for example, uh, if I have like my ADC, if I consider ADC with 10-bit resolution, okay, in that case, my maximum value, if I consider 5 volts is maximum value, then it will be mapped with 1023. Okay, 10-bit resolution means for every bit you are going to have your value like whatever the V maximum or V peak to peak we have divided by 2 power 10 minus 1. This is how we do calculate resolution. Okay, resolution, how much we are getting, is calculated by using this particular formula. If I am using 0 to 5, then Vmax will be 5. 5 divided by 2 power 10 minus 1. If I am using 8-bit resolution, I need to consider 2 power 8 minus 1, that is 255. So since this particular microcontroller, this particular board has inbuilt 10-bit ADC, we are going to map in the range of 0 to 1023. So my 5 volts, analog 5 volts, it has been mapped to 1023 in digital. So if I have something like, if I see my value in serial monitor something like 512, in that case, what will be my corresponding input value? That will be x. I need to find what is this x. Okay, to find x, what we will do is, x will be equals to 5 volts into whatever you see in that serial monitor divided by 1023. Okay, that's how you can calculate what is the input appropriate voltage value. The other way, like, I have 5 volts 1023, but if I consider for 2.5 volts, what should be my value? In such case, what I can do is, maybe if I consider this as y, okay, in that case I can do like y equals to 1023 into 2.5 divided by 512. Okay, so in ADC how we do calculate is, if I want the voltage in analog by having digital value or binary value, then I can use this particular formula. If I have the opposite, I need to use this. If I say like 2.5 volts, opposite what is the y value, I need to calculate like this. Okay, so that you can verify also here. For example, let me stop simulation and take a multimeter. Okay, multimeter I will try connecting across this potentiometer. Okay, now it's like, for example, if this particular multimeter is showing 2.5, okay, if it is showing 2.5, what should be the corresponding y value? You can just respond in chat. Sorry, here I just made something wrong. It's 2.5 by 5. In that case, what should be my appropriate output of ADC? Across potentiometer I have 2.5. When I read in microcontroller, what should be it value? It's just 2.5 by 5, that is 1 by 2. 1023 by 2, approximately you are going to have 511 or 512. Okay, we will observe the same thing in Tinkercad. Okay, you can see here when this particular voltage is at 5, I can see 1023. If I am dragging this, let me stop at 2.5 approximately. Okay, approximate, okay, 2.5. You can see here 511. Okay, similarly you can also consider, if I have some 700 over here, 700 in serial monitor, what should be appropriate value which we should be getting at this potentiometer. Okay, so something like that also we can check. Okay, so I want a condition like if my uh, output of this potentiometer is crossing 2.5 volts, then I should make this LED on. Okay, that's what the condition I want to write. Okay, if output of this particular LED, this particular potentiometer is crossing the half mark, that is 2.5, I need to make LED on. For that I need to write code now. Okay, we'll do that part. When I say 2.5 volts, we just have seen like 2.5 approximates to 511. So while writing condition, I need to consider 511 instead of writing 2.5. Okay, so I'll go to control. I need to have if else condition, because if it is greater I need to do something, if it is less I need to do something. Okay, so I am reading my unlock pin value. I need to write a condition over here. I dragged control, that is looping thing, conditional thing. I'll go to math. So as the symbol shows here, I need to drag something which is of same symbol. Okay, I am going and getting that comparator thing. Okay, I'm trying to drop. As soon as I go near, it's getting highlighted. Okay, I dropped over there. Then here I need to have analog pin value. Okay, I'll just duplicate and I'll also drop that one here. If my analog input pin A0 value less than 500 or 512, let us consider, that means it will be below 2.5 volts. In that case, what I want to do, output set. Now I'll consider another pin rather than considering 13. Set, I'll try connecting that to maybe 8th pin. Okay, if it is less I need to make it as low. I'll just duplicate this. If it is false, that means if it is greater I need to make high. Okay, I'll make the connections also appropriate. This thing we just need to connect to ground, and this thing I need to connect to 8th pin. Okay, let me try simulating this. Voltage is 3.5 and you can see LED is glowing. Okay, anywhere here you're going to have your LED glowing. Okay, because your voltage is 2 point greater than 2.5. You can also see in serial monitor the value is greater than 1023. But if I change this, it's off. Exactly at some 2 value 2 I'll see value is 491 in serial monitor. LED is not glowing. Anywhere here you can see like this is not glowing. Okay, so that's how we can just consider a potentiometer and how we can make LED work by controlling a potentiometer. Okay, so can you think of any other applications what we can do with this particular tech circuit instead of potentiometer? Any other thing, something like that you can consider? Okay, time is running out. Let me tell. So here I have connected potentiometer, but instead someone says, like, instead of LED you can consider an alarm. Whenever it crosses threshold, you make that particular buzzer glow. That's fine. But instead what I can consider is, instead of potentiometer I have some temperature sensor. Same temperature value I will be giving, I will try monitoring. Okay, once it crosses a particular threshold value, I will make LED glow. If it is below threshold, I will make it off. Okay, so like that I can consider any application. So if there is anything like read analog pin value and try to consider some threshold and make some other output, then this particular thing will work. Whatever circuit we are considering, that is the basic. Wherever we are connecting this particular potentiometer in the same place, we can have that particular sensor connected, take decisions accordingly. Okay, so that's all about potentiometer. We'll go to next one, LDR, which is also kind of related to this one itself. So next we have is LDR. LDR stands for a light dependent resistor. As the intensity of light falling on this particular LDR changes, you are going to have variable resistance. You can also consider the circuit we are considering here is also voltage divider circuit. When I consider P output, okay, uh, the output at this particular point I can calculate by using this particular formula. So when I consider, like, for an LDR, if I have darkness around it, then it's going to have resistance in the order of mega ohms. Okay, maybe it will be up to 1 mega ohm. But if I consider some light is falling on this particular LDR, then the resistance will be in very few ohms, maybe in the range of 50 ohms, or maybe approximately less than or more than that one. Okay, so that's the basic concept of LDR. If darkness is there on the LDR, you are going to have high resistance. If light is falling on the LDR, you are going to have very less resistance. Okay, so that's what the concept we have, and we will try taking the advantage of that particular concept. Okay, again here quickly you can just respond where I can use this particular LDR, what application. Automatic street lights, yeah. So we'll try implementing that one. We won't consider relays etc, but we'll try working with an LED. Okay, so this particular circuit actually shows that one. uh, First I need to have LDR circuit, right? LDR circuit, the same thing, like one end of LDR we will connect to VCC, the other end we will connect to uh, one more resistor, the other end of resistor we will connect to ground, and I will take output from this particular junction. Okay, so that's what we are considering here. Then another LED we are considering here, like in the same way how we did a particular potentiometer, in the same way I am going to consider a particular LED here, which we will try to control by using the intensity of this particular LED. Okay, sorry, LDR. We'll quickly go back to Tinkercad. Now what I will do is, I'll remove this potentiometer and I'll try keeping an LDR. Okay, LDR. Okay. As the name suggests, photoresistor, the resistance of that one will change with respect to the intensity of light. Okay, so one terminal, first terminal you have to connect to positive, right? Okay, I'm connecting to positive. Then the other end we need to connect to a resistor. Okay, we'll get a resistor, drag this particular resistor. Ani వినిపిస్తుంది ఇద్దరికి. So I am considering a resistor of 1 kilo ohm, and this one I am grounding again. Okay, making it black. Okay, output of this I need to basically use to control something. Okay, so output of this one I'll try connecting to Arduino. Earlier we have used A0 pin, right? For the same A0 pin I'll give this particular thing. Okay, so it's like if I go back to this particular circuit, I'm taking this particular thing and giving to A0 pin of Arduino, and I'll try controlling an LED by checking what is the value I have at that particular A0. Okay, so I will try measuring this particular voltage. What is the voltage I have across this particular resistor? Okay, let me make you clear. We are not considering the voltage across LDR, but we are trying to consider the voltage across this R2. Okay, so for example, if darkness is there, you can just respond here. If darkness is there, and if I consider the V out value, and without darkness if I consider V out value, in which case you are going to have more V out value? When darkness is there we will get some V out, when light is there we will get some V out. Whether that V out value will be more in the case of darkness or more in the case of brightness. Okay, okay, I can see mixed answers. Let me clear that. For example, if I have darkness, in that one what happens? This numerator is same in both cases. We will consider denominator. Let me just consider numerator value is 10. 10 divided by R2 will be constant. Anyway, I can consider something like 1 kilo ohm, something like that. Plus, if I consider darkness, I am going to have this particular part. Okay, this particular part, whatever I have here, in mega ohms. In that case, what happens? My denominator will be more. If I consider brightness, this particular value will be less. That means denominator will be less. So we know, like, if numerator is constant, denominator is changing, we will get more value when denominator is less. That means whenever I have the value of this particular LDR less, in such case I am going to get more output. If the value of LDR is more, that is in the case of darkness, I am going to have less V out. Okay, so we need to consider that variation. We need to fix some threshold. Okay, that also we'll see. First we will check up code. So I have connected this particular LDR to A0. So I am trying to read A0 value, and with that I am trying to control LED on 8th pin. So I have that also. Okay, I'll start simulating. I'm simulating. As of now my voltage across resistor is very less, that is 27.7 millivolts. The other advantage or beauty of this particular Tinkercad is I can also have light falling on this LDR. How I can do is just click on this LDR, you will get this. As you can see, now it is completely dark. Okay, see here, as I am increasing brightness, the particular thing, basically we wrote condition like if the value at A0 is greater than 512, that particular LED should glow, else it should be off. So for a application like traffic street lights, whether this is working or we have any problem with whatever we have designed, whatever the code we have written. uh, will it work for automatic street lights, or we need to do any modifications? You can just respond in chat. Yeah, someone points out like it's glowing in light, so we need to modify. So whenever we have light, it should become off. Whenever we have darkness, it should become on. So for that, what change we need to make? We just need to reverse the operation. We were checking like when this is less than 5 to a low, but instead we can make that one as greater than 5 to a low, less than 5 to a high. Okay, so that's what I'll do, and I'll simulate. Okay, in the darkness it's glowing. Let me try increasing the brightness. Okay, so till some 2.35 or 2.5 I can see LED still glowing, but as soon as I cross 2.5 it's becoming off. So the same application I can utilize in traffic street lights. Okay, so far is it clear for everyone? Just respond in chat. Okay, okay, that's good. uh, I'll show another application with a sensor. Okay, just 11:59, so I don't want to stop at this point of time. Maybe we'll try showing another circuit with some ultrasonic. We'll show. Anyway, I'll show something else. With this particular thing, we can also generate tones. Okay. Okay. Uh, I'll just remove my microphone so that you will be able to hear the sound of this thing. I'll start simulating. This circuit basically I have not made, that is already available in this particular site itself. I'm just showing the working of that. So if I press this, meanwhile you can respond in chat if you are able to hear the sound or not. Okay, are you able to hear the sound? Yeah. Let me change the button. Okay, 10K. This is also 10K. This is also 10K. I'm using the same 10K for all the three push buttons, but the sound you just observe. So the sound which it is generating is different. Okay. Uh, Let me just check the code of this one. So see here, we are trying to play speaker with different tones 57, 59, 60. Okay. So that's the difference. The value which we are giving for this particular thing are changed. Because of that, you are able to see different sound generated. But whatever the value we are considering here, eighth pin, that is digital one. So in the next class, uh, that is tomorrow, we'll try to see what is this pin, eighth pin. If I am giving some value, why my frequent, why my sound is changing. Okay. So that's what we will see in tomorrow's class. Okay. Eighth pin we are giving. Before that, I'll also show you something else because I just want to cover as many things as possible. This also like I'll try taking the existing thing only. Ultrasonic one I'll try to consider. Just saving the circuit. So we have some delay. Okay. So let's try simulating directly and see what it does. Okay, I have simulated. I can't see anything as of now, but let me try clicking this ultrasonic. Okay, see here. So can you see the numbers beside this ultrasonic are changing? Okay, if I am changing the point position, it shows at what distance that is available in inches and also in centimeters. 297 centimeter. Okay, and here if I come, it says 112 centimeters. Just in front of that one, it cannot detect out of this range, but as far as I am in this particular boundary, it will show me the distance. Okay, so we can also see code for that one and just increase the size. See, they have created two variables, centimeters and inches. Centimeters, basically that particular variable, what they are doing, they are assigning with read ultrasonic distance sensor on trigger pin 7, because the output of ultrasonic they have connected to 7th pin. They are trying to read that value on 7th pin. Okay, echo pin same as trigger. After this, it's going to consider what is the value available at 7th pin, and they are trying to convert that one into inches by dividing with 2.54. Set inches to centimeters divided by 2.54. Okay, then print the same value they are trying to print in serial monitor also. Okay, we'll also see. So you can see here in serial monitor the values are changed. So that's how I can use this ultrasonic. Like many of you have participated in various competitions where you had the task of reading ultrasonic value to find out the distance. Okay, so I can have this ultrasonic calculate the distance of the things, maybe for your robotic platforms, and try taking decisions like move right, right, turn left, okay, rotate 180 degrees, all those kind of decisions you can take. So before that you can just take this example, and from this you keep on adding, like how you can make a particular DC motor rotate. Okay, we also have DC motors. You can just see, go to basics. Okay, you can see DC motor is available. Okay, so you can just connect DC motor, like if I have this distance of an object more than some threshold, make this particular DC motor on. Okay, else make that DC motor off. Like that you can consider. But if I want left and right directions, you can change the values which we are giving for this particular DC motor. Like that you can consider some application and you can work with. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any doubts, you can just respond in chat box. If you have any questions, you can raise them. Okay, is everything clear so far? Okay, then we'll try closing the session.